Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. We are back with you, another Spring Trojans Live. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody back with us, our quarterback Cody Kessler, and the new USC football general manager, the man who's been blowing up your Twitter feed. It is Chad Bowden. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Trojan family. Great to have you, Chad. Our interview is presented by iTrust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. Well, a lot of this stuff, Chad, is new to the people who'll be watching and listening to the show. So take us through it quickly. Your roles, responsibility. What does it mean to be USC's GM?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that being a GM, we're doing in college football now, whether it's NIL, overseeing the roster, recruiting, evaluation. There's a couple different things I have my hands on within the program as well. But that's really it for the roles and responsibilities.
Chad, it seems like there's been a major push to get Southern California recruits going on the team. It seems like every time I turn on Twitter, some kid from high school from Southern California is getting excited about. I was once a Southern California recruit many moons ago, so that was a while ago.
And you flipped from Notre Dame, didn't you?
I might have. I don't know if it was a flip at the time. I don't think they had that terminology yet. That verbiage wasn't started yet, but I definitely might have came at the last minute. Tell us about the importance of Southern California recruiting, and what does that really mean on the ground when you're doing it?
Yeah, it's everything. I think when it means more to kids and they're coming out the Coliseum and they look to the right and they look to their left and they come out that tunnel and their family's there and their whole family can be at the game, it just means more to them. Yeah. And the best football, I've said it over and over again, and I mean it. The best high school football in the country is played in California. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to go elsewhere, but the best football is played in California, especially in Southern California, and we're going to kill it in California, and as we already have. And we got a couple more on the way this week that I'm excited for you guys to see.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I love it. I'm waiting for the fight on emoji on Twitter. I always know something's happening when that goes out. I loved your opening press conferences, or your opening press conference, and I talked to some former teammates as well. Just everyone was excited by the mentality that you brought to this program. Now you're 2 months in, and you talk so highly about USC. How's it been your first 2 months? Is it everything that you expected? Is it exceeding expectations?
It's been more.
That's awesome.
The type of love, from the USC fan base, from the former players, donors, everybody. We all want this place to be great. And I think every single day that I'm here, I understand the opportunity that I have, and there is not a moment that I will take this for granted. This is the greatest opportunity in my life, and I won't waste it for 1 second. I was at the Grove yesterday, and this guy gave me 2 free juices, and was like, "Thank you so much for what you're doing for
compliance."
The city.
Is that a thing? Compliance?
I don't know. Hey, I just took it.
No, you're good.
But it means so much to this city, and I am going to do everything for this city. I lived here for a little bit. I'm not saying I fully can claim it because I only lived here for 4 or 5 years. My dad lived out here for 15 years. My parents were divorced. So this does mean something to me. And I really want to do it for the city. I really want to do it for Southern California, and there will not be one day that goes by where I won't give everything I have to this program and to this university.
Love that.
You're listening to USC football GM Chad Bowden here on Trojans Live, and Cody mentioned it. The fight on emojis have been popping. The class is pretty much unanimously ranked number 1 right now. What triggered the momentum?
I think it's alignment and all of us working together for a common goal. I think there's a true vision for how we see this roster. I know I have a true vision for how I see this roster playing out, not only this year, but the future. And I think you have to forward think things when it comes to roster building. And I have a true vision for this team, for this football program. We all do. Obviously, me and Coach Riley work really, really well together and have done a really good job, to this point already, landing some big time commitments. And we're just getting started.
When you mention building the team, what does that look like from a personnel from that side of the things? When you look at something, when you see a player, what kind of players are you trying to bring in, or body types are you trying to bring in when you look at to building the team?
I think it always starts with character and makeup. It always starts there. Mm-hmm. If you want to bring in guys, obviously physicality wise, that's the biggest thing for me. Yep. there are plenty of really great players out there that might be undersized, right? But guys that are physical, guys that aren't head turners, guys that want that action. And, we've done that in this class, but it starts with character and makeup. It starts with guys that are competitive, have that spirit, that no matter what, man, it doesn't matter if we're down 21 in the fourth quarter, they're still playing their butts off, and we're going to win in the fourth quarter. And those are the types of kids that we're going to bring to this program, and we already have.
Chad, what's your vision for USC football in the next 3 to 5 years? Hopefully you're here as long as possible because we love the energy you bring. But I'm not saying predicting national championships or conference and all of those things.
No, that is what we're doing.
Okay, I love it. So
we are. I mean, that's why I'm here.
Someone who sees USC from the outside looking in, what do you want them to notice right away, both on and off the field?
We're going for it all.
Okay.
And it's an effort every single day. I don't want there to be. Look, I took this job to win a national championship.
Yeah.
That's why we're all here. That's why Jen's here. That's why Coach Riley's here. That's why Coach Lynn's here. That's why when we have the best coaches in the country, this place attracts winning. And USC football has won 11 national championships, and all I want to do is win its 12th.
In terms of this year's team, are there still opportunities there that you guys are looking at, or is the focus really 2026 and beyond when it comes to the roster?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the roster's in a really good place right now. I love the kids that we have, and I mean that. Obviously, we might look a little bit into the portal if we have to, just depending on what attrition looks like for us in the spring. A massive focus, though, is obviously in the 2026 class. We're going to sign more high school kids than in USC football history in 2026. But if we can pick up, if we think there is a move in the spring that helps this football team win games, we're going to do it.
Just to follow up on that, is part of that big number adjusting to the way things are going now, where your model says, hey, we need to write attrition into it?
Yeah, you have to write attrition into it, but that's not the only reason. I don't want to get too far into depth as to why the number is going up. I don't want to say it's entirely attrition. With the roster limits going to 105, there's some things that we're going to be able to do that'll really help us and help this football program. I don't want to disclose that, but that's the reason for the high number.
Got it.
Obviously, recruiting's a big part of what you have going, but right now spring ball's going on, and I'm sure there's evaluations. I'm sure you and Coach Riley are working hand in hand on what you have on this current roster and maybe even some spots you need. What's that evaluation process like in spring here?
It's been really great. I think you see, there's some serious young talent in this football program. And there's also some really great players that have been here. It's been really fun to go out and watch guys like Jacoby Lane and, or a young guy like you see a Jakeem Stewart, and you're like, holy smokes, who is this? Is that Chris Jones? Like, who is that guy? There's some serious talent out there, that I'm excited to continue to watch through spring. Now, keep in mind, I've only seen three practices. That's all I've seen.
Yeah.
So it's hard to evaluate that because when you're looking at Tuesday, Thursday practice, right, and it's early, and Saturday practice, Saturday practices are. They're padded, and it's go time, right? And you're going to get the best. But I'm so excited to see practice on Tuesday, this next Tuesday, because you find out what your team is like. And I'm so excited to see how our team responds. Our second day in pads on a Tuesday practice while they got school and all this kind of stuff going on. What is our team like in that moment? So I can't wait to see. I'm excited for Tuesday.
Kind of sticking with the roster a little bit. I've always been curious. There's a big point of emphasis on bringing the right guys in and going out there and looking at high school at the transfer portal. But I want to talk about the other side of that, of keeping the right guys here on the roster. Because with NIL and all the opportunities in the portal windows, it's easy sometimes for guys to leave. How important is it to make sure you not only go out and get the right guys, but retain the same guys on the roster? Or do you kind of take a step back and let them make those decisions for themselves?
No, it's everything. Retention's just as important as recruiting.
Yeah.
And there is the talent here is unbelievable. And there's some really great players here. And that's why I say I think we're really, really close. You were January 21st, you're watching a national championship game. You watch, obviously Ohio State and Notre Dame. And you go out and you see both teams and you watch them play. And then you come here and you're like, man, it's closer than you think.
Yeah.
It's closer than you think, and the most important thing are the guys that are in that locker room now. And I'm going to make sure that retention is just as important as recruiting.
It's not just you. You brought in a full staff of people with you, and feel free to shout them out. I'm curious about the scouting side of it. How much of it is on that group that you brought in to handle scouting, and then how much are the coaches involved in that? Where Danton wants a certain type of player that fits his system. Obviously, Coach Riley wants a certain type of player. How does that breakdown work when you're scouting a kid?
Yeah, we all have to work together, and I think understanding what we're going to do schematically is very important to who we're looking for as far as recruiting. Everything we do is together. Dre Brown, who's our assistant GM, is one of the best evaluators I think in the country. Who I brought over from Illinois. It worked for me at Notre Dame. He's really phenomenal. We have really great evaluators in our front office. But I look at what coaches have done in the past. You look at what has been here in previous years, and you look at what we're trying to do in the future, and you kind of weigh all of those things into who you're trying to recruit and evaluate. And I think we've done a really good job of creating a process, that is good for not only the front office but the coaches, so we can all be aligned in making decisions. And that's what we're doing.
Chad, your father was a great GM for a long time. So did he just molding you as a young man to be a general manager? Were you like doing like Madden, like general manager mode, where you were like doing negotiations and salaries when you were like 7, or how did this thing come into fruition here?
I was. I don't know any other. I mean, I really was, and it was great learning as a kid, and it stressed me. Honestly, it stressed me out a lot as a kid, and being around it all the time. I think that's why I kind of fell out of love for baseball, is how much I was around it as a kid. And then I finally got around to football and realized, man, this is what I really love. And some of the things that you take from the experience of my father being a GM, you can kind of take into this world too, which has been really great for me because this is natural to me.
Yeah.
Working with whether it's players, agents, coaches, whatever, I'm used to this. I've been doing this my whole life. I have more than a master's. You know what I mean? I got a doctorate. I got whatever I'm ready. Yep. So I think it's really helped me. It's really helped me through this transition. Of college athletics as NIL and the portal, roster building, recruiting, evaluating, all these things that are going on. It's really helped me out.
Stepping away from football a little bit, or I guess maybe a recruiting pitch right here. You've been here before, but what's been your favorite part about being back in Southern California? You've enjoyed living back in Los Angeles area again?
Oh, I've loved it.
Yeah.
I've loved it. I mean, there's so much to do, in Los Angeles, and there's so many different pockets. The problem is I just want to go to so many places. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go to Miracle Mile. I want to go to the Grove. I want to go to Paradise Cove in Malibu. I'm down in Redondo Beach all the time. I live in PV. My wife loves it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's so much. Santa Monica, you know what I mean? I want to go to Santa Monica for a day. I want to go to West Hollywood for a day. I lived in Hollywood before that. So I kind of want to take my wife to
the
that
hair is already
too.
looking very Los Angeles. Did that travel with you from the Midwest, or is that
the curls are popping a little more?
product
popping
little different product out here.
Just a little
That's
different.
the curl guy.
Product
right there.
find.
Yeah, but I'm glad you said it because that's so true. I remember when I was here with my roommate Max and Sue and all these guys, we would go to practice in the morning, go to workouts after, watch a little bit of film, and then we'd go to the beach in Santa Monica and then eat dinner over in West Hollywood and then come back to campus. It was it's unbelievable.
That's the thing about USC is it offers you everything.
Yeah.
I mean, just name something. Just you player development, right? How many NFL draft picks has USC had?
Too many to count.
National championships. How many national championships have we won? Stuff to do. It's Los Angeles. It's the number one market. It's a city of opportunity. Education. This is a world-class education. We compete with Ivy League schools. Like, this place offers you everything.
All right, I'll commit.
Yeah,
right,
I'm ready.
Same. I'm ready to
flipped you
recommit.
from Notre Dame again, huh?
You got nervous because you thought he was doing trivia there, and you were like, "Oh no, I don't want to have to answer these questions." I wanted to get you on one more thing before we let you go, and the difference between pro sports and what we're dealing with here is in pro sports, your dad would get an owner who told him what the budget was, and that's what he worked with. Here, part of this is igniting the fans and the donors and everyone that supports, and the people that are out there watching, they're all part of this too.
That's right, and I think it's the best part about being here is the type of support that we've already gotten, and it's still going. And I want everybody to know that we really are going for it all. I didn't come here. I came here for this place to get to the mountain, the top of it. which is winning a national championship, and we need all the support we can get, and all the support that any fan, donor, that we've received. Here's something: anyone that has given anything, to House of Victory, I don't care if it's $2. I've written an email to say thank you, and I think it's very, very important that we appreciate, because they're all owners of the team. They all are,
That's
and
right.
I appreciate all of them.
Well, we appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time, man. We love your energy. You got us fired up here on a Monday night. We're fired up about Kamari Ramsey. He's next, too. That's the kind of
Let's
player
go.
we need. Local star here at USC. So Kamari's next. Ready to take it to the next
Kid's a
level?
stud.
Unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. And USC fans win a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in Temecula Valley. Sean, you want to get a home in wine country? All you have to do is play slots or table games at Pechanga Resort Casino through May 30 to earn entries. Visit pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for details. You could be roommates with Sua.
Oh, yeah, nice. Temecula. That's Sua land.
All right, Kamari Ramsey is next on Trojans Live.